Jesus.
In the name of
Satan, you bow your knee.
Satan, you bow your knee.
You fall on your face.
You fall on your face.
COVID-19.
COVID-19.
I blow the wind of God
The wind of God
on you.
on you.
I blow the wind of God, the wind of God. COVID-19. I blow the wind of God, the wind of God. COVID-19. Blow the wind of God, the wind of God. COVID-19. Blow the wind of God, the wind of God.
That gets me fucking hype.
Look, we've had
COVID-19.
we've had a lot of people write us wanting us to bring back the old Feel Good Friday.
I feel hype as fuck
Kind
right
of
now.
feels timeless,
It
doesn't
does feel kind of timeless, doesn't it? And I don't want to say that we're going to bring it back and keep it, but I did want to bring it back for this week in particular because today marks our 1 year COVID anniversary.
Let's just
oh my
move right on
God.
from this. I don't even want to talk about it. Let's just go.
This is the 1 year anniversary to the most abusive relationship I've ever been in my entire life. It's been 1 year since we recorded our very first Feel Good Friday episode, and it is bittersweet. It's bittersweet because it's one of those relationships where
I feel like it's Brian's most abusive relationship.
I mean, yeah, for sure. I think it's all of
I
our.
feel like
most
it's
abusive
awfully
relationships.
privileged of you guys to be able to say that. But hey, I'm not judging here.
What a you're such a piece of shit. But it does feel like a bit of an abusive relationship because there's something about the Feel Good Friday that feels, it's like the sex is good. It's good sex. It feels good. Every week we're getting that good sex. But also we're reminded that these are challenging times and there's a virus killing people all around the world.
Certainly is, yeah.
And we're trying our best to make this relationship work. And well,
we're doing it.
here's to an
Yeah.
so what I would like to do now is propose. This is my marriage proposal to Feel Good Friday to stick around forever. But I just hope that one day COVID doesn't have anything to fucking do with it anymore.
Guys, I got us a new prop for the set.
Oh yeah, what's that? Oh, a dog.
Oh, that's cool. Where'd
a
you get that
living
dog?
being.
He's even alive and everything. Look, he just moved his head.
If you want to see the dog that is on Taylor's lap, and no, I do not mean his penis, you can watch the episode over on YouTube. We are on YouTube, and if you've been tuning in, I hope you're enjoying all the work that Brian's putting into the videos there because they look fucking great.
Thanks for acknowledging that. And hey, listener, if you're out there, I'm looking straight into your eyes right now. I just want to say, leave a comment. Leave a comment down below. Let us know what type of dog you have, because that's information that we're really dying to know.
That's important to us. We need to know.
So let us know. Let us know what type of dog you have.
Loki threw up about 5 minutes before we started recording, so I'm really hoping
It was more of
he throws up.
It was more of a spit up.
On this,
He's been
this
eating
episode.
all of the dirt in the flower pots.
He likes to do that.
You guys want to hear something super wild? So I have I'll throw this out there first. I have a little recommendation. I think I've already recommended it to all of you, but I'm going to recommend it to you again so that you follow up with it and put the recommendation out there to all of our listeners. So I have a really good friend, old high school friend named Greg. And
Greg?
Old Greg.
Oh my God. That sounds made up to me.
It does sound made up. Actually, you know what? He is getting older though. I saw Greg the other day I went to the mall and ran into Greg
72
for the first time, and he's a dad now, which is wild.
Why he
He's
looks
got a
like he's
kid.
72.
He's got a bunch of gray hairs now, so he is old Greg now to me. But Greg, my friend Greg, he's a really big music fan, and in particular, he really loves metal. And he unfortunately, and he was an avid concert goer for years, and he started to get what's called tinnitus. I believe it's pronounced tinnitus. Tinnitus.
Tinnitus,
yeah.
for
Tinnitus?
sure.
Yeah, we've all seen Baby Driver.
Yeah, right. Okay, so
Yeah.
cool.
Love baby.
Now we're
I
going to
love Baby Driver too.
If you love Baby Driver, all about tinnitus. I have another movie recommendation, and this comes from Greg. Greg is also a movie fanatic, and so he sends me a text, and the text was basically like, "Hey, I just watched The Sound of Metal, and it was one of the most incredible film experiences I've ever had, and the way that they portrayed hearing loss is unlike anything I've ever watched in a film." Greg lost hearing in one of his ears. The tinnitus got really bad, so he recommended this.
Oh,
movie.
really?
And
Like, is that relatively recent?
No, it's been a little while.
Since I've known Greg,
since-
has he had
yeah.
no ear?
Yeah,
Oh.
since you've known him.
I mean, no
Yeah,
hearing.
he just has
lost it.
no ear,
He chopped his
no ears.
after he had no hearing in it.
Yeah,
He just
yeah.
took
Well,
it off.
I mean, some listeners wouldn't know this, but that is the actually only cure for tinnitus at this time is just to amputate the ear.
Slice the ears off.
Yeah, and usually because
Dude, I can just taste the fucking Louise email we are about to get from that shit.
But it is interesting because they just amputate it and they don't use
not
a
Take that as
scalpel. They
gospel,
actually
everybody.
use garden shears. It's just the
No,
most
come on,
effective way
Jesus Christ.
to get the whole blade around the ear and do it in one foul swoop.
Wow.
So The Sound of Metal is basically a film about this guy who is a drummer in a band, loses his hearing, but also struggles with addiction. And if you are someone who loves...
Is that the one with Riz Ahmed?
Yes. And it is truly an astounding film. The sound design is wonderful. The acting is phenomenal. The writing is unbelievable. Like it is a really, really good film. But for our listeners of Sickboy in particular, and if you really love like the Monday episodes, this movie is for sure for you. Like it is just a beautiful story of hardship and like overcoming adversity, and it's really fucking phenomenal. But this story that I'm about to throw to is in line with this film, and this is one of the weirder, wilder things I've ever heard of in my life. Woman is unable to hear the voices of men. Now, I think it was International Women's Day not too long ago. I feel like there's an International Women's Day joke in here somewhere. I don't know what it is. Lauren, I'll leave it to you. Woman is unable to hear voices of men, including her own boyfriend, and can only pick up the higher frequency tones of other females. The woman from China went to sleep with nausea and ringing in her ears. The next day, she went straight to a hospital with sudden hearing loss. A specialist said stress had given her low frequency hearing loss. So this is really, I'll go into her story, but the other day I was hanging out with Bridie, and she took a thermometer and put it in her mouth, and the thermometer started beeping. It started going off. It was like this really high pitch, like ee, 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 ee. Now,
Was it higher?
way, way higher.
That's pretty good,
that
wasn't
was
it?
pretty
That
high.
was good, yeah.
That was really high.
Yeah.
It was still way higher.
Okay.
So it was,
okay,
and-
more like this. I know you probably didn't hear anything, but that's because
No,
you
no.
probably can't hear a dog whistle either. But my ears,
Okay.
because they're brilliant.
So
I have the
good.
best ears.
So this thing started going off, and Bridie's dog Rose was laying in her lap, and Rose perks up, and she's like, Jesus Christ. And I perk up because I'm like, fuck, that is grating. Like that is really annoying.
Yeah.
And Bridie's just sitting there with the fucking thing in her mouth. And I go, it's done. And she goes, what? I go, do you not hear the thermometer going off? And she was like,
Bridie?
no, yeah. What the fuck?
Bridie, do you not fucking hear that?
And she couldn't hear it at all. She couldn't hear the tone, the high frequency at all. She was like, I actually can't hear it.
That's
at all."
crazy.
Pretty wild.
Yeah, I just want to add to that. When I was like 15, I was, and first like playing around on the internet, I was Googling dog whistle sounds, and I found a high frequency pitched like imitation of a dog whistle, but it said it was a sound that only like young kids could hear and adults couldn't hear.
Yeah.
And so I started
Oh.
playing it in my house, and I could hear it on blast, and my
So-
parents couldn't hear it at all.
So this
It's
is the
crazy.
thing. As you age, there are frequencies. As your age goes up, there's frequencies that your ears begin to just stop hearing. And so whatever the frequency of this thermometer was, Bridie's 4 years older than me. She
She
just
just
no
had her
longer-
birthday.
She know
so
that's right.
It must have been like she had her birthday.
The
and
day
then-
of.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
day of. That's
how it
right.
works,
That's how
yeah.
it works. Yeah.
So this woman from China.
Fuck you, Louise.
This woman,
Jesus Christ. Yeah, wow.
And
Harden the
I-
paint. Harden the paint on Louise
I
ASAP.
love you, Louise. This
love you
woman,
too.
this woman from China, she's been diagnosed with a type of hearing loss, which means that she can't hear the voices of men, only women. The patient,
But
who was-
wouldn't that vary depending on? I mean,
well,
obviously, on average, you've got
yes.
women
Yeah.
have higher
Yeah.
voices, but like, I mean, fuck.
I mean,
I mean,
you know,
like,
I think
Kelly-
whoever wrote this article was being a bit general there,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
yes,
yeah.
you
you're
know what they
right.
say though? You live by the railroad tracks, you don't hear the horn anymore. That's the saying.
They do.
Something like
Yep.
that.
Yeah, I know that. I know.
What
Yeah,
does that even mean?
I know that.
Means
saying.
that it means what it means is that if you live by railroad tracks, the train's going by every day, and eventually you just like don't even hear the horn.
That
going
is
off.
actually
It
very.
means
because
it means
it's
you're
a good saying,
It
actually.
means your partner's probably cheating on you. Like that's
no, but it
No,
means
you
that
know what they
keep
say.
saying,
You know what they say. Stand close enough to the tracks, you don't hear that train a coming. You know, it's like
Yeah, it's
it's
like that.
got the whole.
no.
But for real, I live literally next to a fire station. Been watching a lot of Parks and Rec lately, and I don't hear I can't tell you the last time I heard a siren.
Mhm.
Because you think you can't hear.
No, because it becomes such an.
You
it's
don't-
just-
you
it
don't-
becomes such a common
Yeah.
part of your existence. That
So
you just,
do you, so
don't
oh
notice
I
it.
see.
Dude, it's like when I lived by the mosque in Dubai and
I
the
see
prayer
what you're
call
saying.
goes off
Yeah.
five times a day. I wouldn't notice it at all
Yeah.
after a while.
But it's definitely not that in this case because
No,
if
it's not that in
every
this case.
woman like went deaf to hearing men's voices from hearing them so much,
You'd all be deaf.
all women would be deaf.
I
to
can't.
men's
I
voices.
actually can't tell you the last time I heard Kyla speak.
Actually, Lauren, here's how it works. Let us mansplain this to you.
The patient, who has only been identified by her surname, Chen, woke up to find she was unable to hear her boyfriend. A specialist diagnosed her with reverse slope hearing loss, in which she could only hear high frequencies. The condition is believed to affect only 1 in nearly 13,000 patients with hearing problems, according to figures. It was possible that stress may have contributed to the condition, the doctor said. Now, stress from her boyfriend? I don't know. Maybe it was like he's just nagging her all the fucking time, and maybe this is what this is. Maybe she just doesn't hear his annoying ass,
And
that's
the
what-
doctors are like, yeah, it's a
It's-
condition.
it's stress.
Condition.
It's
a condition.
stress, and
Yeah.
you need to get out.
Yeah.
Miss Chen reportedly had been suffering from nausea and ringing in her ears the night before her ordeal. And ringing in the ears is often associated with tinnitus. She believed a good night's sleep would solve the problem and went to bed with her boyfriend. But the next morning, she was shocked to find out she was unable to hear her partner talk. Can you imagine?
Does she race rally cars?
yeah. She works at an indoor gun range.
Does she work in the engine room of a large ship?
She works in air traffic control.
Actually, my reference to racing cars was actually a Baby Driver reference, not a loudness reference.
Yeah.
She rushed to the city's.
Just so everybody knows.
She rushed to the city's Quanpu Hospital, where she was seen by an ENT, an ear, nose, throat specialist. Report states that she was able to hear every word the female ENT said, according to Dr. Lin Xiaoqing, who treated Miss Chen. Dr. Xiaoqing said, she was able to hear me when I spoke to her, but when a young male patient walked in, she couldn't hear him at all. So even a young male's
Fascinating.
voice, she couldn't hear, which is like,
Well, I mean, he's probably not 12.
How young?
You know, like he's, yeah,
He's
exactly.
He's
it
working in
says
the
here
hospital.
he was 5 years old.
It says here specifically prepubescent.
yeah.
It was a baby.
It says here he was a eunuch and it was part of the choir in
I feel
Where
like
they
there's
go?
probably some
Quanpu.
fucking. I feel like there's probably some like sub 10-year-old doctors kicking around in China.
That's
maybe,
possible, yeah.
maybe.
Yeah.
This condition is normally difficult to diagnose because both medics and patients may be unaware it exists. Of course, this is like this. I've never heard of this before. Although, you know what? You're right, Louise. I haven't heard of anything. We're never going to let it go. Yeah. But it would be really trippy, though, eh? Like, can you imagine?
Oh my god, yeah.
It reminds me of Black Mirror, that episode where like where the guy's partner was like, I don't want to see you anymore.
Yeah.
and she
blocks
she
him.
blocks him, and so
Oh,
so
yeah.
Oh,
he
he's like
can't-
pixelated or
he-
whatever.
her and yeah,
Right.
and she's
Yeah, yeah.
pixelated and he can't hear her, he can't communicate with her,
Yeah.
and like it totally drives him to madness. Imagine that, yet it's just voices with lower frequencies. So like walking around and hearing all people with higher frequencies, yet anyone with a lower frequency, more typical to men, and just be going like
And I wonder
how
if
much
it's
of a
like-
fucking mind
You know,
fuck.
it's
And I
really
wonder
funny.
if it's similar to the Black Mirror thing. I wonder if the voices, like the low pitch sound that she does, that when people with low voices do speak, it's like
Yeah, that's,
Yeah,
that's what
definitely.
it was like.
That's actually really good.
Dude, it makes
You
me
know what's
feel
interesting
good.
though? But guys,
That's ASMR that makes my dick hurt.
let's be real here though. Like we are a health podcast, and we try to find the levity in situations. So we're also a comedy podcast, and I think that it's funny
that
to
she
acknowledge.
can't hear
No,
guys.
it's not that's funny. The funny thing is how all the guys have to communicate with her from now on, because
Yeah, like,
all of
they'll
them
go,
now have to-
Yeah.
"Hi, how are you doing?
I
how are you today?"
I have like a silly but also kind of serious
if
question. Like,
that's
do
how
you
it
think that
works.
she can hear him burp and fart?
No, not
Because
anymore.
that's
But you can
not
smell it.
speech.
Well, I
You
mean,
can smell it.
sometimes farts are like, you know, like that's kind of a higher freak. But then there's the
Yeah.
farts that are like,
Here, mine are like
Yeah.
this. Mine are like this.
That was
that is-
nasty,
that
and it
is-
felt hot. That felt hot.
That
felt
one, that
hot.
one wasn't, but sometimes they are.
And it
Yeah.
sounded like there was no like
there was no anus.
flap.
Yeah, there was no,
Yeah.
there was
You're-
no anus.
Oh no,
you
no.
literally just have a hole.
dude, I
with
have-
no
dude,
sphincter.
dude,
You
I
know,
have
you know
the-
what that
I
sounded like?
have-
That sounded like you just allowed a raccoon to walk out of your asshole.
Seriously, I have the cleanest. I have the cleanest.
No, you
I know-
don't.
I
No,
know
you-
I-
No, you
I have
fucking
the
don't.
You
cleanest.
do actually.
fucking
asshole.
don't.
I mean, and
I
it's
do.
because
I do.
I think it's because you don't have a lot of hair on you. Like you basically have no natural hair on your butt.
I
like
have hair on my
you
asshole.
Look, you
No, you
look like
Yeah, I do.
Your butt
Asshole-
looks like
assholes
a,
don't have hair.
Well, I
your
mean,
butt
like
looks
around
like
the mid
a
the
hairless
periphery.
baboon's butt. Like you're like a hairy creature, but your butt is like, dude, it's shiny, clean with no
Dude,
hair.
You know
it's
why? Because
literally
it also is it's also what's the word? His asshole is
It's
like a
T- it's
baboon's.
like T-
in that
it's
it-
like Timo.
Is that it's
Oh,
puffed out.
distended?
It's distended. Yeah.
yeah.
So
Dude,
that
I am the type
Look
of
at that.
person that
That's
it's like it's like when I was born.
it's just
It's like when I was born, I went, God, give me hair everywhere that I would want it, but nowhere that I wouldn't. And God went, granted.
Yeah, it's weird what you asked him about your face though, because you think you would
I
have
said,
asked him for more.
you know what I
even
said?
beard.
I said, don't give me hair right here. Like, make it look like I've designed this.
take all
facial
the hair from here and put it all on my nipples. I want to move on to by the way, Miss Chen, she will never recover. no, they're
That's the funniest part about it.
no, they're trying to treat her quickly and said that she is expected to make a full
Yeah,
recovery.
yeah. I see you over there, Brian. Before you go on to that, we need to acknowledge
God.
something that is so offensive.
we don't need to
Okay,
talk about
Brian and I. Okay, now I just want to say,
it. This is
wanna
irrelevant.
say-
Is
I
this
just
the
wanna say-
content we want for
yeah,
the
this
show?
is
No,
yes,
it's not.
it absolutely is. Okay, this
Okay.
needs to be said. So Uber Eats, obviously, the world has exploded with delivery apps, and everybody's fucking buying.
This is
everything like-
actually, honestly,
Yeah.
this is a health thing
Yeah,
because I have
it
an
is.
addiction to it.
And
An
so,
unhealthy
and so
relationship.
does Jeremy.
This is a health thing for your wallet.
Now it's a wallet
This is
health
an
thing.
unhealthy wallet thing.
So
Yeah.
okay, these apps fuck you right in the ass.
Yeah, and they fuck the companies over too.
yeah,
we shouldn't
yeah,
be
yeah,
using them.
And
Well, it
and
helps if your ass is distended.
if your ass is descended, it is helpful.
Yeah, they'll put
And
it back into
hairless.
place.
because they'll fuck it right back into place. But if you
Is that why your asshole's so gaping? It's Uber Eats.
yes, Uber Eats is gaping me on a daily
Wow,
basis.
guys,
So
we're getting demonetized.
So Uber Eats, or whatever fucking company, they're there's fees and there's the delivery fee and there's everything that goes with it and the cost. So it really only is good to order if you're ordering a meal and you're ordering it. And I think personally, I mean, obviously you can order it on your own, but if you order it with more than one person, that negates the crazy amount they charge you. in
This
fees
is
and
why
shit.
Taylor does the finances for our business.
Yeah. So Brian and I, and finances for my life too, and Brian and I, ordered from a local restaurant in town called Meza today on Uber Eats. And then after we ordered this, Brian then separately orders
Secretly,
he doesn't tell us
wasn't
this.
a secret, guys.
hides it from us.
A singular
Did
booster
this.
juice.
Literally did
on
this.
Uber Eats.
I did
Literally, no, hold on. Literally
I-
did this. He ordered it with Tay, and then fucking 30 seconds later does this.
If you want to see what's happening here, guys, tune in on YouTube.
Is this what you guys were like? Oh, we can't tell Lauren now. We have to wait to tell her on the podcast. Was this
No,
it?
yeah.
That's what Brian.
So
said.
Unfortunately, Lauren, yeah.
So I go to
This is
Brian.
it.
So I go to Brian. I go, Brian, how much did that booster juice cost? It was $7. I go, how much
was the
how much
delivery
how much
fee?
was the total cost of bringing it here? $18. $18 to get a fucking
Guys.
booster juice here.
guys, hey, listen, I told you in a few episodes ago that I would get involved with a study and get COVID for $70 for the betterment of society. Look, this small business here,
Dude,
There
you
is-
could
it's COVID- it's been
you could
COVID-19.
only do that
Hey,
Small
listen.
business.
Hey, Taylor,
3.5 times
Taylor,
with like your
Taylor,
COVID
this
with your
company-
COVID bank.
this company right here,
Oh my God. You
there
just-
maybe I've made an arrangement with them. Just
Oh,
saying.
yeah, we've
$17,
yeah.
$18.
Brian's
I'm
got-
just saying.
Brian's got
Yeah.
personal ad revenue coming in from
Maybe
booster juice.
juice.
I feel like this is a problematic video for YouTube. Let's move on to something that fucking matters.
Yeah, I'm embarrassed of my addiction, you guys. That's okay.
This, I want to get your commentary on this. So let's watch this here first.
On this case as well. So unless I'm mistaken, I'm seeing a defendant that's in the middle of an operating room, appearing to be actively engaged in providing services to a patient. Is that correct, Mr. Green?
Yes, sir.
Or should I say Dr. Green, but I don't know that.
Okay, that's
So,
okay.
I do not feel comfortable for the welfare of a patient if you're in the process of operating that I would put on a trial, notwithstanding the fact that the officer's here today.
So I have another surgeon right here who's doing the surgery with me, so I can stand here and allow them to do the surgery also.
Not at all. I don't think so. I don't think that's appropriate. I think I'm going to come up with a different date when you're not actively involved or participating in attending to the needs of a patient. Let me see if I can get a different date here.
Oh my God.
So
my
that
favorite.
is
My,
astounding.
my favorite part of that is when he goes like, Dr. Green or Mr. Green. I don't know if you're a doctor
Yeah.
when he's standing in an operating room,
So,
scrubbed up.
In the time of
Oh.
COVID, we're seeing more and more of these Zoom court appearances and court hearings are happening.
They're
on
crazy.
Zoom.
I'm
And-
not a cat.
and we're getting a lot of like meme-tastic content on the web because of it. The Medical Board of California said it would investigate a plastic surgeon who appeared in a video conference for his traffic violation trial while operating.
That's such a
Dr.
plastic surgeon thing to
This
do.
is CBS News. So Dr. Scott Green appeared Thursday for his Sacramento Superior Court trial.
And we
held
know he's
virtually.
a doctor.
Yes, he is a doctor virtually because of the coronavirus pandemic from an operating room. The Sacramento Bee reported. The state medical board said in a statement to CBS Sacramento that it would look into the incident and that it, quote, expects physicians to follow the standard of care when treating their patients. When Link appeared, that's the judge, and saw the doctor on the screen, the judge hesitated to proceed with the trial out of concern for the welfare of the patient. You heard him there quoted. He said, I have another surgeon right here who's doing the surgery with me. This is the surgeon, Mr. Green, Dr. Green, rather. So I can stand here and allow them to do the surgery. The judge said he didn't think it would be appropriate to conduct the trial under the circumstances, and he said that he'd rather set a new date for the trial.
So
So,
why are you reading us what we just watched?
well, this is just what I had prepped, and just don't question it. Just allow the thing to be read.
I like that. It's like, did you ever watch the Teletubbies? And you know how Do you remember
Really
the
dumb it
Teletubbies?
down for
It's
him.
actually really funny. It's
Yeah,
really
just
funny.
this morning I sat down.
Yeah, you know
to
why
an
I read this?
episode.
I read this because this fucking idiot over here bought a juice for $18. So I gotta make sure you heard and saw and heard again, so you really understand what the fuck's going on. Because if this guy is so fucking dumb that he thinks it's a good idea to buy a grape juice for $20,
Dude,
I think I do need to fucking reiterate what we just watched.
That's a wow butter juice. It's not juice. It's a smoothie.
Wow
you guys.
butter is fucking lube, dude. Wow butter is what you put on your penis when you're about to stick that penis into
that's-
something that is needs a little bit of wow butter.
That's ow butter.
What the fuck is wow butter?
It's like fake peanut butter. It's vegan peanut butter. Isn't peanut butter
butter's-
vegan?
Guys,
Each
let's
day
stop
we
talking about
stray-
fucking
Guys,
booster juice.
No,
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I told you I didn't want to talk about it. I want to talk about Teletubbies. You know,
Oh,
did
God,
you guys-
every day
but-
we stray further from God.
this is funny because did you guys? Who has this memory? Okay, listen. If you're watching this on YouTube and you've seen Teletubbies and you remember this, leave a comment letting me know below. Okay,
Keep it simple though.
So do you guys remember on Teletubbies in the middle of the show they had this bit where like the TV would come on or like a TV would come down or something. So like something would happen and like
Yeah.
they would come down and the TV would come on and they would all be so excited and they'd huddle around and they would
And the
watch
TV,
the TV.
was a demonic baby. Or no, that was the sun.
That was the sun, yeah.
Yeah, right.
And they had suck the vacuum that was like going around and stuff. So anyway, there was
That's one of those problems.
that's not a problem. It's only a problem because you have a dirty
suck.
mind.
The vacuum came down with the wow butter all
Okay.
rubbed all over its teeth.
Okay,
So and then the Teletubbies
wow.
gathered around the teeth and they would suck on the vac.
Some listeners will remember that in that bit on Teletubbies when the video came down, it was like a live action bit of Teletubbies. So like the Teletubbies are like living the Teletubby world, and then the TV comes on and it cuts to like a cutscene of like kids playing on a playground in real life. And they would watch this 5-minute
Like someone
segment.
filming children on a playground?
It was see, you guys, I can't talk about anything seriously without you guys turning into a joke.
I know, but
Okay,
Brian,
just let me
why are we
finish
talking about this?
because it's interesting, okay? And I'm curious about your
Lauren
memory.
is upset.
Okay, just listen for a minute, you guys. Let me finish my thought. So in this video where they would watch this live action video, it was like a 5-minute segment. And then it would finish, and the Teletubbies would go, "Aw," and they'd all be sad. And then they would go, "Again." And then it would play back the exact same
exact same
5-minute
thing?
video again.
Yeah, you know why? Because they're capitalizing on the fact that kids want to watch the same thing over and over again.
And
They
this is
really,
how-
truly do.
And this is how it comes back. And I thought it was more of like an education thing. Like, hey, here, if we tell them twice, they'll remember it. And that's why I feel this comes back to the reason why
Right.
Jared had to read.
No, dude, that's a financial
what we
decision, dude.
watched.
They went, let's make 10
Definitely,
minutes and we'll
dude.
make it
Definitely.
into 20.
Definitely.
So I want to know your thoughts on this Dr. Green thing.
Leave them in the comments below.
No, I want to know your thoughts. God damn it. Guys, I hate YouTube.
I mean, it's clearly, I know that I want to just say that I made a joke about plastic surgeons before, like said that was such a plastic surgeon.
I was going to
thing
come
do.
back to that.
I mean, I understand that plastic surgeons don't just give people vanity like upgrades.
No.
They,
I almost
Yeah.
needed plastic surgery.
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
when
on
you
my
smash
fucking
when you
nose.
smash your face up, yeah.
Yeah.
And they do very important work for people who have had very
Totally,
very
it's
hard,
super
hard
important
things. But that is absurd what that person was up to. I mean, it's just like don't be. He obviously knew he needed to be in this hearing, and he also knew that he needed to be in. Like he knew that both things were happening at the same time.
Well,
Like you got to choose your lane.
I think he's a healthcare hero.
Oh, that's a
He's
hot
not
take.
going to let something silly like a court date stop
Hey,
him from giving someone, from providing an essential service.
I'm just gonna make an assumption that he's a plastic surgeon. He's probably not poor. Gonna say
You don't know
I'm just gonna
that.
make that assumption unless he has a heavy gambling problem.
It's
And
possible.
and
unless he goes to Booster Juice.
unless he goes unless
Unless
he,
he
yeah,
orders,
unless
unless he
yeah.
Uber Eats his
Yeah.
Booster Juice.
He does have a serious Booster Juice Uber Eats problem, which means that which eats up half of his salary. But he's not poor, so dude, the cost of whatever the revenue that you're gonna make off the surgery that you're doing probably outweighs the cost of whatever that fucking parking ticket is. Just
You
don't
decide-
just don't go.
He probably just had to say not guilty though. Like it was probably just a like one of those first sessions where you have to plead whether you're guilty or not. And he was like, I can sit here and just have this on for a minute while I also, give this person a
Yeah.
boob job.
So I think this is there's actually a reason why I want to bring this up, because I had a feeling that this is where the thoughts would go.
You did.
And this is where
Teletubbies
yeah, I thought this would be like, well, this will bring back a lot of the booster juice stuff, and maybe we'll get into Teletubbies. No, I thought that your minds would go in that direction, especially what you were saying there, Tay. And that's where my thoughts had gone about it. And in trying to secure the video, I was trying to find the video of the doctor in the court hearing on YouTube, and there was another article that had come up from WebMD, and it was about the doctor speaking up about what had happened. And when I read through it, I was kind of like, oh yeah, maybe it's not so simple that this guy's a bit of a fucking knob and didn't think things through clearly. And
I'm really excited to know what the
there's
counter
also
argument is to this.
so this is the unfortunate part about the internet.
I
right?
do want to say,
we see something like this, without any context other than a news organization going, plastic surgeon does surgery during court arraignment, and you're like, oh, what a fucking idiot. And then you hear this doctor chime in about what actually had happened. And it's like, it kind of makes you step back and go, yeah, you know what? What
happened?
This is really it's a bummer that this gets covered this way, and that this is how the internet works. But so what happened was,
I just want to say, every time I hear those titles though, or those headlines,
Yeah.
I think, okay, there's more to this than that.
totally. Now,
that-
don't get me
than
wrong.
that
Don't get me
headline
wrong.
portrays.
Even after going through this WebMD article about the doctor himself, I still think that he made a poor
Could have
decision.
handled things
I
differently.
think he made a poor decision and should have. You're not going to find anything out that's going to blow your fucking mind. But I just want to say, I don't think he did anything that horrible. But I also think, that was a bit of a dumb idea. Like you could have stepped out. So basically, since the hearing video went viral, Dr. Green says he's been inaccurately portrayed in the media as an irresponsible physician who joined the virtual call as he was operating on a patient. An important fact missing from the narrative is that his colleague, which he does say in this video, his colleague, a licensed doctor who has completed plastic surgery residency, was performing the closing facelift, and Green's involvement was completely over. His involvement was done. Green says he was expected to be finished with procedures by the time he was due in virtual court on the date, which was February 25th. The traffic court gave him a window, and this is kind of like when Bell's come to give you internet. They gave him a window of 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. This is a pretty broad window for his Zoom hearing, and his last surgery was scheduled for 1 p.m. So he was like, oh, okay, 1 p.m., it takes me this much time to do the procedure that I need to do. I'll very likely be done by that point. Turns out he was done. The surgery itself wasn't finalized or completed. But surgeries were moving more slowly than usual that day, he says. His final case was wrapping up when staff ran frantically into the operating room and announced that the hearing had started, Green said. The doctor emphasized that he had finished his portion of the procedure when he entered the virtual hearing. Now, here's the other thing is I'm thinking about this doctor who's like,
did we watch that from the beginning?
No, there was more in the clip, but what they showed on CBS News, it doesn't give you any more context to what's actually happening.
But I watch enough Grey's Anatomy that I know that when you're going into the OR, you need to, I forget what it's called, the barrier of the sanitation barrier or whatever, where you have to make sure
the cleaning room.
Yeah, you put on your rubber gloves and
the
stuff.
Horse
and,
trough.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
you splash water in your face and you do all the things.
You
I don't
wash
know,
your
man. I
arms
just
and
watch
shit.
Grey's Anatomy.
Wash your balls.
Yeah.
Make sure your
Well,
balls are clean.
it's specifically on there's a chart on the wall and it says
Wash your
step
balls.
7 is taint
taint scrub.
cleaning, and so I'm confused about whether or not the barrier of sanitation, which is the thing that I'm just making up. Sorry, Louise, is the thing that I'm just calling it. And they're busting in with like an old HP laptop, probably something that well, never mind. This is in the States, so they probably have new stuff. But I was thinking of like a Canadian OR room, and they break in and they have this like shitty laptop, and they like turn it around, they face them, they're like, your arraignment hearings started. Do you think that?
I don't think
it sounds
any of that.
dirty.
I don't think any of that even really. I don't think
any of that happened.
I don't think any of that really acquits him. Acquits not the right word, because it's like,
okay,
it's like if you your surgery went long, so it's like
But do you think?
Step out of the
but do you think
room.
that this guy needs to lose his license and no longer be a
his
doctor?
medical license.
Yeah, dude. Because that's what's happening right
Yeah,
now.
and get hate on the internet.
And not
from
only hate,
people.
not only hate. The aftermath. After the aftermath, the aftermath has been a nightmare. He said, "I feel ill. I feel ill that people want me dead without really knowing what happened. People are texting my family and saying awful things to them. I feel sad that someone would take things out of context and not understand the situation and blow it out of proportion.
No, I
Since
don't
the
think
media
that he
attention
should be.
began, he's received messages saying things such as, "Go kill yourself. You shouldn't have a license. You should be removed from this planet."
Okay,
are
well, this
these
is well,
people?
well,
And
this
like,
is
those
obviously
people are-
crazy.
Obviously, those people are fucking awful.
because he
But
he definitely does not.
He could lose his medical license for as a guy who's like in his like late 50s, who,
But that doesn't even have
Zoom
anything
and,
to
like-
do with what he did. It has to do with the culture of the internet because what he did was stupid. He should have walked out of the room and probably taken his fucking mask off so that it didn't look like he was literally performing surgery
Right.
in that moment.
Right.
And
You probably didn't handle it the best way.
he didn't
but-
handle it
That's
the
what
best
I mean.
way.
He
Yeah.
probably didn't
Does he
handle it the
deserve
best
to
way,
get
but
his
does he deserve
license
to
taken
lose
away?
his fucking job?
No, of
The guy's
course
been
not.
practicing for 20 years.
That should be as ridiculed as the cat guy was.
Yeah,
like
well-
that's the amount of
Yeah.
ridicule that
Yeah.
deserves. It
Which-
deserves everyone going,
which-
dude, what a
Well,
fucking
no
what a
one's-
dummy.
Which it
No
definitely
one's
didn't.
like telling the cat guy to fucking kill himself.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. I'm saying that
Yeah.
they should be going, oh, that guy's silly.
Yeah.
I just wanna say-
he answered a thing in
Yeah.
the thing. He doesn't need to be given death threats and loses
Another point that's
livelihood.
another thing
Yeah.
that I think is important is
Keep it civil in the comments here, everybody. You all have been great.
Dr. Green had said he believes it would be and when I read this is when I went, yeah, maybe it wasn't. Maybe to him it actually wasn't that stupid of an idea, and like he was a bit like, wait, what? Like this is a fucking deal. He believes it would help if the public was more educated about what actually happens during surgeries. The fact that doctors sometimes take a break from a case to go to the bathroom, discuss a biopsy with a pathologist, or review images with a radiologist. It's like,
Yeah.
in the operating room. Look, I've been in an operating room, never conscious.
The idea that
I don't know what the fuck happens in there. I'm assuming when I think about it that I'm laying on the table and there's never eyes not on my fucking unconscious body that has tubes and scalpels and shit in it. But of course it's more nuanced than that and more relaxed than
Well,
that.
Doesn't it
people on
not
the
paint
internet-
doesn't it not paint an exact picture of what he's saying by the fact that I was trying to describe the barrier of sanitation room that I saw in Grey's Anatomy, which is
but I mean,
probably
it's a good that is a
like-
good point in that it's like he if he leaves, it's not as simple as him going, I'll just step out for a minute and take this call. It's like, no, he's fucking in there. Like he's like, I'm
Yeah.
in here, I'm not fucking leaving.
Also-
they're on Zoom. Well, I'm done here.
Yeah.
Alex has it. Just bring
The
the fucking
mistake-
camera over here.
Also,
and let me do it.
something that I learned since I first started working when I was 16 years old is that everybody who smokes is entitled to a smoke break. So like if there's surgeons that smoke cigarettes, they got to have their 15-minute smoke break. No matter
mistake
they've
that-
got to take their smoke break.
the mistake that dummies on the internet who think that they are like somehow being helpful by like I don't know what they think they're fucking virtuous because they just know what this guy deserves.
Yeah.
They're sitting there thinking that this guy's scalpel in hand standing over this person in surgery. We're taking, and like, hey, like, let me just look to the side and discuss my traffic call while I make this incision. Like, that's not obviously
Yeah.
what's happening. And that's obvious from
But
the video.
What's really unfortunate
The guy
is that
fucked up,
because it gets
made a
covered in the
little
media
boo-boo,
in
and
that
then-
way, and because people because people take that view, that plays into the risk of him now losing his fucking job.
Yeah. And the media loves that shit too.
They love that shit.
To give a good analogy, though, like the way that he took that.
I think we could liken
that
this
call
to the Teletubbies in some way.
was like a hockey player taking the call in the dressing room after the game, but still in their uniform. You know,
That's
like,
called an interview.
like yeah.
They do them every game.
Yeah. So, but like same sort of idea in this in the sense that the game is done, their job is done, but they're walking out of there and they still look like they're ready to play, but they're not. They're
That's
not
a
actually
fucking
playing.
bullseye, Bri.
It's perfect.
You hit
right?
it.
Nailed it right on the fucking head.
It kind of
I
reminds me
feel-
of an episode of the Teletubbies where they went to a hockey rink.
Yeah, I feel really bad for him, and I
Oh, yeah.
feel like I feel like it was the reason why I wanted to bring it up was because again, it's like when we first watched that video, you are kind of like, what a fucking idiot, but then you sit and you think about it for a second, and you're like, okay, well, wait a minute.
See,
Wait a minute, not
But
like-
that doesn't.
like-
But it doesn't mean that he's not a that he didn't have a dumb moment.
See-
It's in comparison to the shitstorm that has
Yeah.
descended
But-
upon him.
Yeah.
Like it's
But
really.
you said right, dude. Fuck off. You said because I played that video for you before we did this, and you turned to me and you were like, "You should fucking kill himself." And I was like, "Okay, we're definitely going to be talking about this on the show."
But the thing is
So-
that when I first saw that, I like my initial reaction was, oh, there's more to this. Like there's
Yeah.
like there's no way that somebody in their right mind.
well, I wouldn't
goes
say
in-
that. There's been surgeons who have murdered people.
Yeah, in their right, but a
and
surgeon who
wanting
murders
to.
somebody is not in their right mind.
Well, maybe they're in the right mind. They're just a sociopathic psychopath.
But is that right mind?
Well, it's hard to say. You know?
Yeah,
Like,
it is
is it
pretty
right
hard to
mind?
say.
Say it's their mind.
Yeah, and
Who's
like
to say their mind's wrong?
yeah, everybody's
But
entitled to their own
isn't-
mind, Brian.
Isn't right
It's
mind,
their reality. Their
isn't-
reality is the right reality.
Being in the right mind is a saying, though, to saying that you're cognizant of what you're doing. You're in control.
Yeah.
Like if you're
Serial killers are in control.
Yeah.
well, yeah, and like further
I guess
to
so.
Yeah.
further to that point, Brian, like we don't know what the consequences would have been if he missed that call.
Right.
Maybe in that moment he perceived the consequences of like not taking that call right then as being worse because he never in his fucking
In his
mind would have thought
Yeah.
that this would be recorded, put on the internet, mischaracterized.
In his mind, he's going, if I don't show up for
right?
this, I'm going to lose my fucking
Now this
Exactly.
practice license.
now this is
Yeah.
the question.
Now he's
I'm
losing
gonna,
it
yeah,
because
now
he
I'm
showed
gonna
up.
lose my driver's
Guys,
license
Now
or
this is the
whatever.
this is the question, and Kyla said something to me about this. I think it was when the whole "I'm not a cat" guy was hot news. She was like, "Why are these Zoom videos on the internet of these people's court proceedings? Like, what is going on?"
Yes.
Is
Public,
it-
dude. You can
and-
go into any court proceeding
Yeah.
and watch.
so it's all just public. So it's
Yeah.
Yeah.
there's no privacy,
No,
anything
no.
of any kind in that.
No, it's meant to be public. So they
When I was in
they
grade
do it on
12
Zoom and they live stream it to YouTube,
When I was in grade 12,
Really?
we
Yeah.
went.
which is what happened here.
When I was in grade 12, we went to. I was
Damn.
taking law, and we went to the courthouse, and just like they didn't like call ahead and say, "Hey, we're coming." We just like showed up. And
I knew you could go
watched.
see like murder trials and stuff
You can
like
see
that.
anything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's meant to be public.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's wild.
But the thing that I think should come out of all of this is the fact that like so I've been watching going on YouTube and watching slang videos, learn the cool things that Gen Z folks are saying, and
I mean,
no comment.
you gotta be up with all
You know,
the
say-
glizzy. You gotta be up
so-
with the glizzies.
yeah, no cap. And so
Yeah.
I've been
Guzzling.
so one that came up the other day was Nunya, and you guys know what Nunya is, right?
Yeah, none of your business.
Yeah, right. And shouldn't that be the philosophy of which we live our lives? Like, if this doesn't affect you directly, why you on the internet wasting your energy making noise about it? Because this is Nunya,
dude. Because there's a ton of people.
right?
Dude,
Yeah,
there's
it is none yet.
there's a ton of people out there that don't have a fucking thing to do or think about.
But that's why,
Dude,
this
we
should
could
be
get
Nunya.
somebody. We could get
Especially
somebody.
in COVID times.
We could get somebody like on our YouTube video who is literally like, "You guys are all fucking losers, and you should all lose your jobs and be banned because you're all just fucking shitty."
Well,
And you just go,
Mind your
You
business.
yeah,
Well,
mind-
these
Hey,
people
hey,
are
to
like,
you, it's Nunya.
well, they're just laboring under the like erroneous belief that posting or commenting does something.
Mm.
That's why people do that. I don't know, but it's just not.
Is
the
there
way
a
the world works.
change.org petition that we can sign to get this guy to lose his job? Or
So
what?
People
actually, I
people just
started a
really
Kickstarter.
people really love thinking that they're useful
Yeah.
when they're really not.
Yeah.
Oh man!
And you
hey,
know what?
listen,
and it's
you
really
watching.
and it's really just
hey,
sad.
if you're watching right now, you're not useless.
No.
You're.
I mean,
you're
unless
useful.
I mean,
You mean a lot.
unless you're senselessly commenting on YouTube videos telling people to kill themselves, then
Yeah.
you are sad.
Yeah, but you know what? The thing is that those people are multifaceted, and that is just one piece of them.
No, they're
you know?
pigeonholed
They're-
into one thing, and they're sad, and they need to
They're-
just shush.
I'm sure there's a lot of redeeming qualities about them. It's just that
Probably not.
They probably need to go to therapy and work on why they rely on that habit or that coping mechanism
Probably
to deal
stuck
with a
in
lot
that
of
way
things.
for the rest of their lives.
Yeah, I think they can be fixed.
Do you guys want me to hit you with one more
Incessantly broken.
one more little fun tale, or do you want to wrap it up?
Hit it. Hit us. Hit
All right.
it. Hot. Hit it.
This is coming out of Vice. Mixing poisonous pufferfish and cocaine is a terrible idea, Florida man learns. So I think this could be a new segment that
I was
we
gonna
introduce to the
suggest-
show.
Florida man segment.
Which is a Florida man segment, because we just seem to always kind of find our way into Florida man stuff.
I mean, both of those separately are not a good idea.
Yeah. So there are at least 9
was thinking
different
the same thing.
species of pufferfish that can be caught in Floridian waters, which means that there are at least 9 species of pufferfish that shouldn't be eaten. If you aren't aware, and you can see by this,
There's only certain parts of the fish that you're not supposed to eat, isn't that right?
certain parts, but a lot of the parts.
Look at that.
More parts than you think.
beautiful-
Or am I thinking about a blowfish?
That's what a pufferfish is. It's
Same
a
thing.
blowfish.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
something.
Look
So
at that
eat-
wonderful graphic design, though. Can you
eat-
take a moment?
I know, right?
Yeah.
Eat puffer and you may suffer. Although pufferfish is a popular dish in some regions, eating southern puffer can make you sick. Not only make you sick, it can fucking kill you. Pufferfish typically shouldn't be eaten. The fish contains a potentially deadly neurotoxin that, best case scenario, can cause numbness. Sounds kind of fun. Dizziness, not so fun. And difficulty breathing.
Isn't
I
that
can
the
attest. Also, not fun.
isn't that the one called the sexy toxin?
No. But you're going down sort of you're totally off base.
What is it? What is the sexy toxin?
No, it starts with. Is it the one that? Here, hold on. Let me get to it. I think it might be the one that starts with a T.
I just read halfway down the page and it
Oh, you
was
did?
on the page.
Oh,
Can
okay.
you guys hear Loki snoring?
I
Oh
can
my
hear him
God.
snoring. Yeah, can you fucking put that thing down? In the worst case scenario, it can literally kill you. The Florida Fish and Wildlife Commission prohibits anyone from hunting these fish purely because of their potential to cause a very bad time. So, a 43-year-old man somehow missed those warnings and almost killed himself by eating pufferfish liver, one of the most toxic parts of an already toxic fish. The man's near-death experience was recently chronicled in a case report called Blow, a case of pufferfish intoxication in southern Florida. Love that fucking case name, by the way. After eating the liver, the man started vomiting profusely, had numbness and weakness in his legs, couldn't speak clearly, and had chest and stomach pains. Within 4 hours, he was in the emergency room, where the doctors also discovered that he had extremely high blood pressure and chronic kidney disease. So he was not doing too good. The man admitted that he was also using cocaine, and the docs attributed his blood pressure to that kind of blow. But the other symptoms were thanks to tetrodotoxin, the poison found in some kinds of pufferfish. Tetrodotoxin, or TTX, thank you so much, is more than 1,000 times more toxic than cyanide.
Whoa.
And there is no antidote for it. So you take some TTX and you are not going to be
And this is
doing okay.
this is in the liver of the fish, of the pufferfish.
In pufferfish, the highest concentrations of TTX are found in the skin, ovaries, and the liver, making this man's decision even worse.
Oh
It
my
kills
Lord.
you.
So did he
it kills
die?
you super fast, eh?
Well, the docs gave the man activated charcoal, antibiotics, and put him on a respirator to ensure that he would be able to breathe.
What's charcoal's deal? Does it just absorb
Charcoal?
something?
Yeah, charcoal goes through your body and it binds molecularly. It like, Louise, please just fucking don't. Molecularly, it binds things to it. So if you took like a poison and then they gave you activated charcoal, that charcoal is going to go through your body and it's going to go
And suck up the shit that was
suck up-
binding
suck
onto
up-
your
yeah,
your
I guess so, something like that.
your bio atmosphere.
100%. Yeah. 100% fact. Fact. You heard it here first. That's how activated charcoal works.
Thumbnail that.
Yeah. So
We'll actually clip that, put that on
Clip it.
Instagram, and
Clip it.
put it out as a fact.
quote, if intoxication does not result in death, symptoms usually recover within 24 hours, as was the case for this patient, Dr. Patricia Almeida wrote in her report. The man's grandmother was also treated for dizziness and some muscle weakness, but because she hadn't eaten as much of the fish or any of its liver, her symptoms were not as severe. Now, the grandmother had 10 kilos of blow up her asshole. so here's where the story takes a
So
big
she had
twist.
super high blood pressure.
She was smuggling cocaine. It's a whole wild thing. Florida's nuts, yo. Unfortunately, the man's kidneys did not recover from the TTX, the cocaine, or the combination of the two. He will require dialysis treatments for the rest of his life. Ooh.
Oh,
He also
that's
didn't
really
or
bad.
wouldn't tell the doctors where he got the fish in the first place. So he was,
I was
like, I
wondering
ain't telling you that.
I was wondering where you get that because, like,
Dude, he probably just fished it, dude. He's from
Probably,
Florida.
yeah.
He probably just went down to the swamp and
Well,
fished
where
out
do you
of the
think he
swamp.
got it from? It's not like somebody was selling them on the side of the
Probably
road.
killed a
You-
gator, and the
you-
gator had eaten it, and he ripped the gator open and fucking took the blowfish from the gator's stomach, and then did that, and then
Yeah.
cooked it.
Inference to the best explanation would definitely say that that's probably what happened.
Dude, he's
Well,
Florida, bro.
if you want to hear something interesting, a little bit of fact about pufferfish. Some species of pufferfish, or fuju, remain a delicacy in Japan, where chefs train for 2 years to learn how to safely prepare it. Those chefs also have to pass a proficiency test. So, like, they're not fucking around in Japan when it comes to pufferfish. Complete an apprenticeship and apply for a license to prepare and serve it. So
Yeah, I
basically,
heard of
you
this.
got
I
to
heard of
become
this.
a fucking doctor to serve pufferfish.
Doctor of pufferfish.
There is no such licensing requirement in the United States, but the U.S. Food and Drug Administration has serious restrictions on imports of fuju from Japan and requires Japanese chefs to remove most toxic parts of it before it's boxed up and shipped out of the
So
country.
he didn't get like. There's not Are there
We-
pufferfish kicking around in the water?
We don't
in
know.
Florida? I don't
we
know
actually,
why I'm
we actually don't
pointing
know.
there.
Yeah.
That's not where he is.
No, he's not in the screen. We actually don't know. But in December 2014, a 30-year-old man and his 33-year-old sister bought some fuju from a New York City street vendor. Okay, so here's like where you could potentially get it, folks.
Dude,
and
and
took it-
serious case of hepatitis.
Took it back to Minnesota with them. Okay, and as a treat, and the two of them ate it. Both of them were in the emergency room a few hours later, and this is what he was quoted saying. This is one of the wildest things I think I've ever heard someone say, because if you try to think about it, you're like, I don't know what that means, but I don't want to find out. He was quoted saying, "My teeth can't feel themselves."
Oh yeah.
You guys know
oh,
how,
yeah.
you know
Don't
how
you
much
know?
of a fan
Don't you
I
know?
am.
We took the puffer fish back and we got real sick. Don't you know?
My
Yeah.
teeth can't feel themselves.
Yeah,
It's like
teeth-
you
that's
can't
what-
feel
that's
your.
what- that's
You
actually-
can't feel yourself.
Teeth-
feeling
Just think
your
about
Ta-
that. Just think about that
Taylor
for a
was
second.
saying earlier today that his teeth felt like tiny bones.
Just take a second.
which
Well,
was also
they
equally
do,
as
they
weird.
do because I got my teeth cleaned for the first time in 2 years by a dentist.
But just for a second, just look, just sit with just get comfortable. Close your eyes for a second. Like feel grounded. Close your eyes, and just feel your teeth in your mouth.
It's like a guided meditation.
Can you feel it?
Are we gently rubbing them together?
No. Just no. I'm serious. Do this for me. Let your jaw relax.
Relax your jaw.
Shh. Let your jaw relax, and just feel your teeth. And if you're at home, do this. Feel your teeth in your mouth. You can feel them.
Dude,
There's
I
like a
can
weird
feel,
magnetic kind of like.
Well, I can feel
feeling.
mine because with Invisalign in, I don't have mine. I don't have it in right now, but I took it out. But because it's constantly moving your teeth in your mouth, they constantly are like hypersensitive. So like I can feel them right now because of like the little bit of movement.
Now,
That's
what would it
taking
feel
place.
like if you said my teeth can't feel themselves?
Yeah, it'd be super fucked. I'd be
Feels like
like,
something I'd say.
Well,
if I
would
was
feel
on
like
Also,
my-
was this
my-
guy doing
my
coke
face-
too? Was this guy just rubbing coke on his teeth?
my face,
Yes.
my
What the
face
fuck is with these people doing coke? Is that a thing? Is it like like eat blow while you're doing blow challenge?
He just ate pufferfish and then he just went and then he just
I just
went,
want to, but
yeah, that's
but why? But listen, guys, why? Who is this vendor selling puffer fish in New York City? And what was the intent of like the fish
go
to
to
be used
any-
for?
go
Maybe
to-
it was the same guy.
go, yeah, it could have been. Go to
Yeah.
any city, any massive like a city like
Yeah,
I'm thinking of like New York street vendors, Kosan Road in Bangkok, like busy street, like a lot of streets in Hong Kong in the what's that area of Hong Kong? I can't remember
Like
what
the
it's called.
market, I think
And
it starts
and you're
with a
like,
D.
I mean, there's just tons of shit that like
Yeah,
who
but I'm saying,
fucking
but
knows
I'm
what's
saying
going
like
on?
what? So I wonder what puffer
Would
fishes
you
are
like to
traditionally
see
used
ping
for.
pong show?
I wonder what puffer fishes are used for other than eating, like because it sounds like you basically don't eat puffer fish, or sorry, unless you go to the school that Jared went to in Japan that takes 4 years. Jared, what was that experience like when you went to Japan for 4 years and learned to use your malleable tiny little fingers to fillet those little puffer fish pieces and prepare them perfectly to be eaten?
I mean, the reason I
Oh right, yeah, right. Oh yeah.
Just leave it.
Okay, sorry.
you cut that out.
Yeah, I got it.
Look, I just found that you can. I'm trying to find fuju online.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't find any, but I did find some fuju vodka.
Interesting.
True precision. This is the write up of it. True precision.
I think
It's
that's
something you
the-
can taste.
That's the tequila that
Just ask the
Fuck Jerry
people
makes.
who seek out the venomous fuju fish, the world's most methodically prepared delicacy.
I bet
Our own fuju vodka is no less the result of meticulous attention to detail, distilled from some of the world's finest corn-based grains and filtered 15 times with a dash of TTX to make your liver shut down. Simply one shot.
You know what I bet it's used for? I bet it's used to get those Kardashian lips. You know, like you take a
Yeah.
little bit of it and you just.
I think what's
Put it
used
on
to
your
get those
lips a little bit?
Kardashian lips is a little bit of what our surgeon traffic light
Would you
friend was
would
doing.
you eat it? Would you eat fuju? Would you eat fuju if you were in Japan at a restaurant and it was like, you knew the guy had the credentials?
I
to do
probably.
it?
Oh yeah,
Yeah?
I would just
Would-
for the thrill
would-
of it. I
would
think
you-
that's what people do.
Now, would you do it like this?
I think that's a
Would-
touristy thing.
Would
to
you
do.
eat it the way that you eat? Fucking Christ, Lord, have mercy on anyone who has to watch this fucking thing eat. Would you eat it the same way that you eat like the fucking animal that you are when you're eating a burger from Five Guys?
Well, no, I'm not going to eat it with my hands. I'm
Sorry,
gonna
you
it
don't
with
eat
a-
burgers from Five Guys. Kyla, I was just joking. Taylor is vegetarian. He's never eaten a burger. Sorry, dude. Sorry.
I'll cut that.
I
out,
know
too.
that Kyla's
I'll-
vegan and she
hey,
doesn't let you eat meat. So I'll
Yeah,
just,
Tay, don't
hey,
worry.
can you
I'll
cut
cut
that
it
out?
Yeah,
too?
yeah, I'll
Cut
cut
that
it.
out too.
Jesus Christ.
But yeah, would you eat it with the vigor or like the simplicity that you eat? The
No.
lunch that you had today.
No, I would eat it slowly, and I would
Slowly and like a scared little baby.
no slowly so that I could chew and feel
Oh,
the texture of
yeah.
every bite and really like.
But would you be eating, chewing, feeling texture to try to be like,
is
try
that
to
poison?
feel
is
it
this
in-
TTX?
You try to
no,
feel it.
no,
in
I
your
just
teeth.
mean that I'd savor it and do it slowly because it's a little bit of a thrill because there's the potential that the guy fucked up and
And
Yeah.
you would
No.
want to make sure that with
Would
every
you?
bite you could continue to feel your teeth in your mouth.
Yeah.
And
Would you do it,
yeah, for sure, definitely.
Lauren?
see
I'll eat anything, especially if it'll kill me.
now here let me
Jesus
tell you let me say that when I was in Japan last year, I was like, oh, it would be cool to have some Kobe beef because of like the idea of Kobe beef.
That's the cow that's like filled with poison.
No, no, you know what Kobe beef is, right?
Yeah.
Like so I thought
earmuffs,
like,
Kyla. Earmuffs.
so I thought that this
Kobe
would be,
beef is the cows that live that beautiful life where they get massaged and they have like They live on a farm and they're so happy. They're like the happiest cows. And then right when they're like, life couldn't be any better, the farmers come in and they go, yeah, and they put the little thing on their forehead and go.
Isn't
then
it
they kill
crazy? Isn't it crazy how many humans have that exact same existence? Where they're like, this is the best ever, and then
That's it.
then the lights go out.
Except
Yeah,
they
but
don't
anyway,
get-
it's
they
not
don't
done
get-
by a farmer with a
Yeah.
fucking thing that
Yeah.
pops into their forehead.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I was thinking that I would get some Kobe beef, but in Tokyo, getting Kobe beef, like if you're walking around, unless you've planned it, like if you're just walking around and you're going, I'm gonna go get some Kobe beef, like you'd never know where to go because it's like walking down Kosan Road in Bangkok and passing a pair of Beats by Dre at a street vendor and going, those are real. Like you just don't have no idea whether like what you're getting or what it is. So I would be, unless you researched it meticulously in Japan,
Right.
I would never be like,
Just
like,
step it. Yeah,
you
step
know,
into a vendor.
step
and
into
just
a
grab
vendor
it.
and be like,
Yeah.
oh, this guy does blowfish.
Well, how about this? In Japan, pufferfish poisoning is the most common natural marine toxin causing food poisoning. Pufferfish, also called fugu, is a popular traditional dish. In 2009, there were 50 cases, but no deaths. Now that's in Japan. In Taiwan, from 92 to 2012, so that's a long time, 128 people were affected and 11 people died.
I just want to say.
that's very
I just want to
few.
say.
And
I'm-
China, pufferfish poisoning affected
1.2 billion.
131 people from 2004 to 2007.
See,
35 deaths.
I'm so down with having the puffer fish, and it reminds me of
Statistically, it's fine.
I like the thrill of like potentially running into danger or harmful situations when I'm traveling internationally. It's just kind of exciting, right?
Like cross the street with your eyes closed and shit like that. and-
Like when I was in Sri Lanka, there was a kid who worked at the hostel that we were staying at, and he came up to us at breakfast and he was like, "You want to go to Snake Farm?" And I'm like,
Snick Farm?
"Yeah, I don't know what Snake Farm is, but I'll come to the Snake Farm with you." So he like stole the tuk-tuk and drove my brother and Abby and I to this snake farm,
Oh, Snake Farm.
which was some guy's.
He had an accent.
It was
because he's from Sri Lanka.
it was literally some guy's shed.
You also
in-
made
in
him
the
sound kind of
woods.
evil.
He was kind of evil. That's
Yeah?
why
He
yeah.
stole a tuk-tuk
Yeah.
and brought him to his guy's shed and
He
tried to
That's
kill
like he
him.
stole a fucking
like,
vehicle. That's
so-
fucking
so
gnarly.
I'm not joking. He stole the tuk-tuk. I'm
And
not
were you
I'm
like,
not-
I guess
and-
we're going to be accomplices here.
And no, I was like, I want to go to the snake farm. So we went to the snake farm, and it wasn't a snake farm. It was a shed with a guy who had a bunch of fucking poisonous snakes, like massive king cobra. Like, dude,
Oh, that's
I'm talking
rad.
about a shed
Fuck yeah.
that was the size of this carpet, and he was pulling them out, and he was just like,
Hell
"Be
yeah,
very
dude."
Careful.
Do you ever wrap a big ass snake around your neck?
No.
I used to own a snake.
I
I
used to
wrapped a python.
I wrapped like a 12 or 13 foot snake around my neck and body on again. Fuck, dude, Kosan Road coming up 3 times on this.
That's on you,
on
dude.
this show on Kosan
Yeah.
Road. Just put it
Taylor's
around my neck.
well traveled for those who don't know. If you've never heard him talk about his.
That was all in one walk down the street.
Well, thanks for bringing up the snakes. It reminded me of my pet snake Champ that I had when I was a kid.
How big was he?
He was a big fucker, and
how big?
And I came home. My dad went away on business. It was my dad and my snake. And when he was away on business, my mom thought the snake was going to eat her at night, so she sold it before my dad got home and didn't tell me.
Like sold as a euphemism for flushed it down the toilet?
No. I came home from playing outside, and there was people coming in and out of the house with a bunch of pieces of a tank, and I was like, "Hey, what's this?" And I went in. My mom's like, "I sold Champ," and
Wait, how big was Champ? I want to know.
he ate my first brother, so he was fucking big,
Like 6 feet at least.
Yeah, he swallowed up my brother.
I'd get a snake. I'd get a snake now.
They're cool, man. They're
Yeah.
fucking cool. It
I
is.
don't know, man.
It
They're
is
kind of boring.
I feel like
No,
Loki.
they're not
Loki I
boring
don't
at
know if
all.
Loki would have a chance. with a
boring,
snake
dude. They're not
nose.
boring at all. You
Why
can
are they
take 'em-
not boring?
You can
Take
take
him
them
for a
out.
walk.
You take them out. They'll wrap around your neck like they'll fucking eat. They will eat your kids. They fucking will eat your kids. They got to be careful with
Dude, a
fucking
snake
snakes.
could eat Loki.
Yeah,
Do you think he could eat Loki, or do you think Loki would fuck a snake up?
No, dude,
s-
the
dude,
snake would fuck Loki
snakes
up.
eat kids.
No, I know, but like not like a big ass snake, but like like a snake like this.
Oh well, that is
like a snake like this. Loki's gonna fuck that snake up.
If
right?
it's,
Well,
if,
Loki,
if it's a rattler,
How
it's
wide
he's
can
dead.
he even open his mouth?
Yeah,
He's
Loki
got, you
won't
should
fuck
see him yawn.
anything
He
up.
can, dude. His mouth opens up like.
It's
Yeah.
fixed now.
Yeah.
That is really funny.
We are so glad that you're all with us. And if you want to listen to the podcast, you can do that over at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or the CBC Listen app. And if you want to watch the podcast, you can do it on YouTube. Subscribe, hit the bell icon, all that shit, and leave comments because that's cool.
That is really cool. And if you have some amazing stories that you want to send in to us that you'd like us to read on the show, some fan mail, an interesting little tidbit that you'd like us to know, or you want to like criticize the fuck out of us, we welcome that. You can send all that to letters@sickboypodcast.com. And if you want to be a guest on the show, you can do that by going to sickboypodcast.com/contact, fill out the form, and we'll have you on the show maybe in the future.
And if you feel like everybody picks on me a little bit too much, you can send your words of encouragement also to letters@sickboypodcast.com. That's pretty much all we have to say today, except for the fact that the show is produced by Lauren Sankey, Taylor McGillivray, Jeremy Saunders, and myself, Brian Stever. Jeff Lonis is our manager. Donovan the Meerkat CPAP Morgan does the amazing sound design on our Monday episodes. Jeremy Saunders does the sound design on the other ones. And the theme music is by Rich O'Coin.
That is it for this week.
I'm Brian.
I'm Taylor.
I'm Lauren.
And I'm Jeremy, and this is Sick Boy.